guys, how's it going? This is my new stimulus check, $1,200 KLR650. I'll tell you all about it. Stay tuned. How's it going, guys? Got the verbal widget here with you. Got kind of a new thing just for a little bit, for a little while. What it is a 2007 Kawasaki KLR650 Gen.1. And I got the side panels off and the radiator shrouds off because I'm going to do some work to it today. And just want to kind of do a video on what it looks like before and after. So I'm going to turn this thing off. Like I said, what we have here is a 2007 Kawasaki KLR650. This is the Gen 1. This is supposed to be the better of the Kawasaki KLR650s. The better. So I mean, this is like alien technology, man, I tell you. This thing has 12,272. I just went on reserve. I got 2 miles on reserve, so I reset that when I went on. So I'll get fuel on the way home. It was in the El Cajon Craigslist. It was on the Inland Empire. So I go, $1,200 for a KLR 650? You know, I can buy that. Pretty it up a little bit and fix a few things and then ride it so I can kind of get the KLR experience. I said, hey, you got the KLR, I'm interested in it. What's wrong with it? He said, oh, nothing's, it doesn't start and run. He said it needs carburetor work and a few other things. And I said, well, hey, I'm in Phoenix. If you would hold this for me, I'll buy it. $1,200, I'll give you what you want for it. My only thing is there's no broke cases or anything, right? The drain plug hasn't been wiped out or anything. And he said, nope. He said, I changed my own oil and filter and everything's fine. He said, there's a few scuffs on the cases. And I go, well, I don't care about scuffs. He held it for me. I ran out there, picked it up. It had crash bars on it. Had crash bars and the handguards. I pulled the handguards off because I'm going to change the bars and put new levers and clutch cable and stuff on. It started but wouldn't keep running or run very long. Cleaned out the carburetor. A lot of the problem was the choke was frozen. And I think that was a lot of why it wouldn't start, because it's cold and keep running and stuff. And then he said the fan doesn't work. And so I said, okay, fine. So I threw it in the truck, and he gave me a manual for it, oil filter, synthetic oil. He also gave me a few KLR guys, the Eagle Mike's torsion spring and the doohickey. So I'm going to put these in today. And then, because it's got a little vibration on the engine, like when you rev it and stuff. And that may be it, but it's got 12,000 miles. So I want to make sure I got the doohickey fix of that. And for you non-KLR guys who normally follow me, who have DRs and real bikes, and DRs and XRs, real bikes. And anyway, the doohickey is this piece here. And what it was on these Gen 1s, from what I've been watching, they would crack and then these pieces would fall down in the engine. Little thing. Or it would just, not... this keeps tension on the counterbalancer chain, if I got that right. And anyway, it allows a lot of slack, which vibration's one of them. Also noise, it's not making the noise. It actually runs really good. I took this on I came home, I did the carburetor. I flushed out the brake fluids on front and rear, put in some fresh .4. This thing had been sitting outside for years, and it had been sitting for a year, which is why I ran the gas all the way out. I just went on reserve because the guy said that the fuel, he had put like a fresh gallon of gas on top of like the old gas. And he said, oh, I should have put all fresh gas. But anyway, so I've cleaned out the carburetor. I've flushed the brake fluids, kind of gave it a bath. When I went and looked at it, well, on the ad, you couldn't even tell it had a power bomb pipe on it because the pipe was actually solid rust and black. It was kind of like this pipe here, the back of the Pro Circuit spark arrestor. So anyway, when I was washing it, I just took some, I think 400 sandpaper, and I worked it over. And I'll keep kind of working it out to where it comes out nicer. But it looks way better. And then I don't know if you can see it. It's probably hot still, but there's a dent like right there. And it had the crash bars on it. You know, they came across like this. And one of the bars went down like this. And instead of compressing the bar on the crash bar, because there was an interference fit right here where it was hitting the header, they put the dent in the performance pipe, which I don't, So that was kind of stupid, but, it's here. It's a power bomb. It's got to be better than stock. And when I changed the oil and I put in the filter he gave me, I just threw in some 1040 Rotel. The oil was black in this thing. So my initial oil change is I'm going to leave it in there for about 500 miles. And then I'll put the good Castrol 1040 semi-synthetic blend Activo, or whatever it's called. It's what I run in my other bikes. So anyway, this is just a little video. It came with the Pro Circuit T4 spark arrestor exhaust. It's got the FMF power bomb. It's got the IMS. These aren't the cheap Chinese ones. These are like the ones in my XR650. But it's got the IMS super stock foot pegs. So it's like 200, 300. Those are actually $100. Oh, it's got the Happy Trails rear reservoir guard. And like I said, it had the bark busters. Like I said, I pulled those off. This thing had sat out so long, you can probably see the rust on all the screws because it was in El Cajon, California, that kind of coastal air. But it sat out so long that the started turning all the bolts to rust. But the grips, they were like real sticky and stuff, and you could actually peel them off. They were nasty. Came with the skid plate, and you KLR guys, put this here, but there's an A on the skid plate. It looks like an A. It's like right here. I'm not sure what manufacturer that is. So if you guys know, just let me know. But yeah, it's a beefy skid plate. They crashed something that kind of broke the weld right there, but it's still plenty sturdy. If I can find a Healy Archer who doesn't charge me an arm and a leg, I may have this fixed. But yeah, it runs good. Like I said, I took it for a 100-mile spin last week. Actually, tipped over on it. I was in real soft stuff, kind of like this. Yeah, that front, there is no bite to these can't. Whoa. Crap. Not only did I go down, can't get my foot up. I mean, I'm fine. There we go. Fuck. All right. Code 4. All right. Well, okay, let's get this thing back up. Whew. Whew. Jeez. The one thing I did want to do is drop a KLR. Shit. See if this thing starts. Kill switch. Nice. Well, ain't that something? And it has these Continental. The name of the tire is Conti Escape. And I think what that means is you Conti escape too far off the road without busting your ass or getting stuck, because these things suck in the dirt. Just my short experience, they suck. You Conti escape too far away. Yeah, even the horn works, but the horn's kind of rusty. For you non-KLR guys who normally follow me, there's a radiator shroud on this side, but it really just kind of has a fake cover, and you got your coolant tank. And yes, this is a glass fuse. Just so you see that. Yeah, kind of weird. You know, the difference between this and this is a 2007, my Honda's a 2008, my XR650L. And boy, the engineering just wasn't there. It's got like, I think 41 millimeter forks, non-cartridge. The other thing it has is it's got this, what I thought it would be, a nice windscreen. It's got a clear, see if there's a name, but it's got this bigger windscreen, because normally they come with one that's only about that high, if I'm right. But so I thought, oh cool, it's got this, it's got the lip. This will make road trips pretty good. Or no, what it did for me last week when I was riding it was no matter where I was on the bike, unless my head was way down here, this thing buffeted my helmet so much to where the shield on my helmet, even though it was down all the way and kind of locked, you know, like that, it would lift it up. It would just like flutter it and then lift it up, and then my head was vibrating. The vision started getting a little blurry. So yeah, it really, this was the downfall of the ride. Took kind of the fun out of it. So what I'm going to do is, this is my first bike where it's had the kind of stationary windscreen, and the you can't see the fender or anything. And I'm going to get rid of this thing. Had this worked better, that I would have kept it, painted the fairing, and called it good. But it doesn't work well enough for me to keep this thing. I would have been better off not to have unbolted this thing and, you know, gone on my ride, because, God, 50 to on up, this thing just shakes my helmet. So anyway, on this side, there's a little mod. I think this is one of the Eagle Mic ones, but and non-KLR guys, Eagle Mic is like a big accessory maker for KLRs, but he kind of fixes all the things Kawasaki didn't fix. Or anyway, this is a piece that allows you to put a mirror onto the clutch perch instead of where Kawasaki had it, onto the end of the controls, the switch assembly. Because what happens is what happened on this one. This one's been JB welded. Is when your mirror's here, you crash, because if you have a KLR650, you're going to crash. This will break off, and then it exposes all your electronics, or maybe even disables it, I'm not sure. But this one's been repaired with JB Weld. Also, like I said, all the levers are cut due to the guards, but I got new levers. I lubed the clutch cable. I have a new one at the house, so I'm going to put that on today. Yeah, I pulled off there was a smog on the back. There was a canister that hung back here. And I got on, and there's a lot of, you know, like just like the DR sites and stuff like that, there's a lot of good information on YouTube. So I removed the smog canister, routed the vacuum tubes like you're supposed to. This is for disabling the the kickstand switch. And a couple funky old technology things on this bike. strange. I'm going to go old and strange. We'll cover that, I guess, right now. I have a new chain and sprockets at the house. And also I have a new nut that doesn't require the tab being bent over. So I'm going to put those on today. But going back to the old and strange things. Okay. For one, this isn't like a chain guide or lower chain defense like most other bikes. There's nothing here. It's mainly a deflector. So there's a company called Hot Foot Moto, I think it is. They sell one that wraps around like a normal dirt bike, and so I have one of those ordered. And it's split to where you can put it on after my new chain's on. So that's kind of weird for an off-road bike. Another weird thing is this kickstand safety switch. All you DRXR guys know it's usually a pretty solid state, small thing. This one, the kickstand, so it's got the kickstand safety switch. It comes up over here. There's a cable attached to this. As I raise the kickstand, it moves that cable. You have a cable that runs through here. There's a plastic cover on here. You have these tabs right here. The cable comes up through here, attaches to an assembly with the arm and a spring and a switch on it. Maybe the bigger bikes have them, I don't know, but compared to what the Suzuki and the XR650L have, it's kind of hokey. So we got, that's hokey, this is hokey. When I first got the bike, it had been sitting, so I put the battery on the charger. No lie, guys, I got my scale and weighed it. This battery is... If I was going to keep the thing, I would get a lithium battery and shed 9 pounds of weight. The other thing that's kind of odd, it had the snorkel in it. I pulled the snorkel out. The airbox runs from one end of this triangular part of the frame to the other. I have no idea what this part up here is for. They could have easily cut it there. But anyway, the airbox is huge. And then on this side, it's the same thing. You have one screw here. You have a tab this fits into. So you put it in the tab and then put it back this, and this holds it. Someone had already drilled the hole there. So once again, it takes up the whole space. You know, the XR650 has like the best airbox I've seen. DR650 is pretty close behind it. This one here is really odd because the air filter actually fits in the palm of my hand. It's a small air filter compared to my other 650 Duel Sports. What else? The glass fuses. You have to get under the seat to get to the other ones. But yeah, it's got the old style glass fuses. No big deal. They work. It's just odd. And I think that's about it. Just kind of funky things. So, the rear fender on this and the front fender, I don't mind the front one too much. It's aftermarket. So the front fender's going away. The cowling windshield's going away. The headlight thing's going away. The rear fender, I have a couple used ones. And I'm going to try and make those work. And then I have that Krylon Fusion paint. Then I'm just going to paint the accessories a different color. This fender is like the ugliest thing I've ever seen. You can see how the rest of the plastic was on this thing. And this fender, the guy had cut it because it's supposed to have a piece that hangs down here. But to me, you know, like when you have a dog and it's got that little bobtail where someone's cut it off and all you see is the butt. That's what this looks like. This looks like a little bob butt on the back of a motorcycle. I think it's pretty ugly. One cool thing is there's a flasher unit under the seat. And when you step on the brake light, it pulsates about 4 or 5 times, or 3 or 4 times. and then the brake light comes on. So it gets someone's attention that you're stopping, which is cool. All the lights work on it. Sitting out in California is kind of hard on them. The back wheel took a lot of polishing and some real fine steel wool, because while this thing was sitting, it's like every dog in the neighborhood pissed on the back wheel. So it was nasty. So anyway, it took a lot of steel wool, Dawn dish soap, WD-40, and a toothbrush to get around everything and get that done. Spokes are a little tarnished just from sitting out, but everything works good. The wheels run true. Carburetors, someone had already been into it. Jet-wise, it was stock. It still had the 148 main and the 40 pilot. But someone had undone the mixture, the idle airspeed mixture plug that's inserted from the factory, and it was turned like 2.5 turns out. That's where I put it back to after I cleaned it out. And then someone had also put a little shim under the stock needle. So I just put that back in it. On eBay, I ordered it's just a little Carburetor Jet Kit the guy sells, but it comes with the 42 pilot and the 152 main jet, which is 2 sizes bigger than stock. Because with the pipe, and I pulled the airbox snorkel out, and I'm going to put a couple more holes in the top of the airbox assembly. But when I was cruising it down the freeway last week, it just felt like it was just a little lean on top, and that's probably due to the exhaust. But, you know, overall it's nice shape, and you really can't buy anything. A 650 Duel Sport that it ran great. I put 100 miles on it last week. But you can't really buy a 650 Duel Sport for that kind of money. I mean, and I'm not going to invest very much in it. I already had a K270 that Kenda gave me, and then I purchased a new Kenda K270, a 3.25 by 21 for the front. So that was like $43. Chain and sprockets through Rocky Mountain were $80. So, but yeah, I'm not going to invest a lot of money because I don't want to lose my profit. Forks are nice. They're not all beat up. The frame's not all down to the paint or anything like that. With the mods, it's got a Seat Concepts seat on it, which is really comfy. Because I like the Sergeant seat on my DR650. So, but, yeah, you start looking at the mods on the bike. You know, it's got the brake thing, $300 for the seat, $300 for this, $200 for that, $100 for the IMS foot pegs. This guard's only $15. I saw that on Happy Trails. But, you know, like Duel Sport AZ told me, he says, you're almost getting the bike free because of the price of the accessories on the bike, you know. And he's never wrong, you know. So while I got the front wheel off, I'm going to go ahead and pull the fork tubes down and put in some fresh 10-weight oil. I'm sure they're black, you know, but I figured, you know, if the front end's off and I got it up on the jack and the cowling thing's off, I'm going to pull it down, spray them out, and then dump 12 ounces of 10-weight fork oil in there, just to kind of freshen things up. So, and then when the fan's not working because of this cooling, there's a switch down here at the bottom. So I have this ordered. They were like $18 on Amazon, and hopefully that'll get the fan working. I tested the fan. You can test the fan by putting a piece of metal in this female portion of the clip and then touching it against, I just touched it against the cylinder, and the fan came right on. So, but while this is out, I'll flush the cooling system with some 50/50 antifreeze. And I do have a tusk shifter that's supposed to be here today, so it's a little bit longer for my big feet. And yeah, really, I haven't really spent more than $300 on parts, and that'll freshen up the whole bike. And that's all I know about it. I'm going to head back home and start tearing this thing apart. And I brought this little list. Here's kind of a... See, I got chain and sprockets. My temp sender is coming in from Amazon. I got the front tire. Oh, front and rear brake pads. They're both of them. I don't know how original they are, but they're both wore down below halfway. I haven't got the jet kit yet. I got a new clutch cable. It's like $8. I did get the choke cable was froze. Like I said, it's working good now. I was able to free it up, but I have the choke that goes right to the carburetor. It's almost like the old motocross days where you just kind of pull it out down on the carburetor and then push it back in. Because I heard sometimes when you crash, this thing comes off. So I have an adjustable mixture screw. The rear tire was free. The tusk shifter will be in today. I did buy the tools so I can do the doohickey mod. And I got new clutch brake levers, and that's it. That's all I've really bought. Like I said, it's just under $300. But the thing runs great, and should look different, good different, I hope, when I get this thing back done. So anyway, guys, that's it. It's a good scoot. Runs good. Sat all week. I went out yesterday, hit the choke, it fired right up. So I'm going to blow this popsicle stand, get out of here. I'm going to get a gallon of gas for the way home. So I've burned all the year-old fuel out of it now. So yeah, so all good. So, and like I said, tires aren't that bad, other than they suck in the dirt because they're basically street tires. But they have cupping on front and back. So when you start out, you can feel that, you can feel the unevenness of the tires. So since I want to do some light trail work on this, dirt roads or something, these tires are really horrible off-road. But anyway, with the new K270s on, it'll ride nice. I'll have new brakes. It'll be great. So I know I'm just rambling on now. So that's all I know, man. I'm going to head home and dig into this thing. You guys, I'll talk to you later. Hopefully the changes will be what I'm thinking they'll be, and we'll take it on an adventure. And so, yeah, we'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.